史丹佛讲师，我们讲是史丹佛讲师，是史丹佛讲师哎。Alpha TALK EP010是史丹佛讲师哎，我是这三佛教授。
Hi guys, I'm Rax from D School at NTU.
Hi, I'm Jack from Draft.
And I'm John Armstrong. I'm a lecturing fellow at Stanford.
And today's topic is talking about why John came to Taiwan and what does he do in Taiwan, something like that. So let's start with a question like, how to keep in shape?
Okay.
I think Rex needs to tell us because I don't know anymore. Because every day I keep in shape at home, but I don't keep in shape here. Every day I just eat.
But like, can you show something like what
Just, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I do some, what do you call this? The Tai Chi.
Oh.
What all the old ladies do.
Oh, yeah. I practice the 8-state praying mantis. They do the same thing.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what is designing your life and how is this topic related to design thinking?
So Designing Your Life is a class at Stanford. We teach it each quarter for 10 weeks over the course of the quarter. And the idea is to use the process of design thinking to design your educational experience, your life, and your vocation or your career. So we're using the pieces of design thinking in the design process not to design like products or services or experiences, but to use those same tools to design our lives and design our own experiences.
So why do we need to design and why design thinking is an effective way to tackle with the wicked problem in our life?
Yeah, so design thinking is really good for problems where the problem is really poorly defined or it's unclear what the parameters are, where there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of change.
Yeah.
And so that's one reason it's really good for innovation and really good in startup situations. And it's also a reason why it's really useful and really relevant to designing our lives, because our lives and our education and our experiences in life are not usually just a clear-cut direction or a very clear step-by-step process. Usually the questions are big and the questions are complex, and so using a design process is useful because it helps us attack those in a more concrete and more sort of logical way.
Okay, cool. So it's my turn?
Yes,
okay, thanks for sharing. And then I think many people in Taiwan, they really they had a lot of interest in what's the things like in Stanford. So my question is about like when did Stanford start this movement and how did it begin?
Yeah, so good question. So this class, Designing Your Life class, and also this, I guess, movement started just about 9 years ago, I think. So Bill Burnett is kind of like my boss. He's the executive director of the design program.
Yeah.
And he had been teaching and advising students for a long time and kept getting the same kinds of questions about, okay, great, I've got some professional things figured out. I've learned some things in school, but I really don't know what to do with my life, or I have all this uncertainty, or I need help making decisions, or I need a process for thinking about these things. This had been on his mind. He'd been helping students with this a lot. And then another person who had been teaching actually at Cal Berkeley, Dave Evans, he had known Bill from industry, from work in the past, and they met up, and Dave was like, I'm teaching this class at Cal, and it's about sort of helping students engage with their futures, helping them think about decisions, helping them design their way forward. What would you think about doing something like this at Stanford? And so that was immediately, it was like, oh, this is what I've been trying to do with students already. Wouldn't it be great if we could create a class for this? And so they started very small, just really with a prototype of a few students, kind of just getting a sense of what is on students' mind, what were people thinking about, what were some of the challenges and problems that students were grappling with. And then from there, we're able to turn it into a 4-credit class. Again, just at first actually just for engineering or product design students, because they initially thought that maybe that area expertise was necessary in order to be able to help guide students. But then as that kind of popularity, more students wanted to be involved, and so it kind of went from there. We're really pleased to be able to help students think about these things and work through them.
Can you recognize the turning point from a small experiment to a 4-credit process?
I think, though, a couple turning points were when students who were outside of that product design or engineering major or master's were allowed to join, because then they were able to see, oh, actually this process and these ideas work for people who aren't as familiar with design thinking. Because originally they thought maybe you really need to understand or have experience with design thinking before you can engage with this process or with a class like this. And then another is that there's now a book, Designing Your Life, which interestingly, Bill and Dave, the guys I mentioned, they wrote it based on the class. I think many people think that the class is based on the book, but in fact, the book is based on the class. And it's many of the same ideas, but adapted to a professional or maybe older audience, people who are outside of Stanford or who are further along in their careers. So some of the same thoughts and ideas, but to a different audience and through a different medium or format.
Yeah, since you're talking about coaching somebody else, I want to follow up on this. Have you ever applied your coaching or facilitating skills outside your work or classroom, like in your life, to your family and friends?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I see a lot of overlap between those types of conversations and just like generally being a good listener and a good, good friend. I try to be very careful. It's funny. I'm moving, and one of my new roommates who I just met, she's like, like I just found out what you do professionally, and like you're gonna be my life coach, aren't you? And I was like, well, I don't in any case force my thoughts on anyone. What I would say though is being in this type of role and doing this type of work is always a good reminder to me to actually embody different things we talked about myself, and also it's a good reminder to me to be a supportive and good listener and help people think about things when they're interested.
Okay. What about your experience working with the team in Taiwan? Is there any difference from you working in Stanford?
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, to be honest with you...
Defensive question.
Yeah, be careful.
Serious.
You guys are so much better.
Because no one will see this as Stanford.
Yeah. No, well, to be honest with you though, it's that working with you guys has been amazing because you've been able to help me think about, not only prepare for class practically, but also help me think about what's going on with the student body, how are different concepts and parts of the course relevant or not relevant to the Taiwanese audience, and then of course translation and cultural translation too. So no, this has been great.
Okay.
So the last one is check out. That if you were to stay in Taiwan for like 1 year, then what would be your plan and why?
Yeah, if I were to stay in Taiwan for 1 year, the first thing I would do is I would take Mandarin classes. I love NTU. I'd probably go to NTNU because they have that really good program, the immersion. So I'd take an immersion class in Chinese. I'd probably try to find a job and it'd be great to work at a university or in some place. There was a student today talking about maybe some program where you can shadow people in different fields. I think that'd be really interesting actually because not only would I be able to experience different types of work, it would also be different types of work in a different country and culture. So it'd be like additional interesting experience for me.
Okay.
And I think I would try to get an apartment. I just went to Beito. How do you say it?
Okay, Beito.
Oh man, it's so nice. It's so nice. Especially if I'm gonna be here for the winter,
Yeah.
Just getting that hot spring. What do you say, Winston?
Wenchen.
Yeah, just get a place up there, get in the mountains, make sure I can go to the ocean sometimes, start to build some community here.
Do you still remember the multifunctional word that I teach you at the very beginning? So 我们第一天他来的时候，我教了他一个中文，然后这个中文呢是我们判断他遇到任何问题，他只要讲这句中文的话就可以解决的问题。或许观众朋友可以猜猜看。好，那我们那个就请他来。
我不在乎。
Yeah.
What is that? I forgot what it means.
I don't care. I don't care.
我不在乎。
我不在乎。
Yeah. Alpha TALK. We'll see you next time.
再见。
Yes.